The first person to ever describe a woman orgasming was a 12th century nun. Hildegard of Bingen from Germany, pictured here with what appears to be a weird alien facehugger on her head, but what that's supposed to be is her visions, because she wrote about her visions as well. Because that's the thing about Hildegard, when she wasn't describing orgasms, which we'll get to in a minute, she was the actual abbess of several nunneries, had visions, wrote them down in a book project that took 10 years, invented her own language for fun, composed music that you can actually go and listen to on YouTube if you want to. She advised the Pope, she advised several bishops, she was a prolific letter writer, and she wrote a lot of medical texts as well. Basically, Hildegard is the kind of person that makes you wish that you had tried a little bit better in school. But why was a nun in the 12th century writing about orgasms in the first place? Well, one of Hildegard's many books is this one, right here, Causes and Cures. It is a medical treatise slash gardening book slash astrology slash cookery book. And it is as bonkers as it sounds, it really is. But she writes a lot about conception, which is quite a remarkable thing for a nun, well, not even a nun, an abbess of the 12th century to be doing, but she does have good cause. She isn't writing about it just to be smutty. She's writing about it because, as all good Catholics were, she's very concerned about procreation and the future of lots of other little Catholics. But the reason she's writing about it is because of a really ancient belief that women had to orgasm in order to get pregnant, or at least it was a real aid to conception if they did. The theory was that the man released his seed, is what it's referred to, and the woman releases her seed as well. And in order to release her seed, she needed to have an orgasm. There is some discussion as to what the seed in a woman is. For my money, it is, how can I say this without getting kicked off of TikTok? The natural secretions of the vagina during arousal. Will that do it? Anyway, the woman has to release that, the man has to release his seed, which is much more straightforward, and then bada bing, bada boom, God's happy. And I'll show you what Hildegard actually says. Here it is, and it's as bonkers as you think it's going to be. Conception. When a woman is joined to a man, the heat of her brain, which has delectation or pleasure in it, first announces the perception of delight in that joining and the pouring forth of seed. After the seed has fallen into place, the heat attracts and holds it. Soon the woman's kidneys contract and all the organs prepared for the opening of the menstrual period are now closed, like a strong man enclosing something in his hand. Now, I don't think that's going to make it onto any of the erotic bestsellers list, but that is an orgasm. A description of heat and pleasure in the brain and pleasure in the body. That's really, really important. She doesn't offer any tips or advice on women how to get themselves there. It's all assumed that this will all just naturally happen when you are joined to a man. And there is a really dark side to this as well. This two-seed theory held sway for many, many hundreds of years and was being used right up to the 18th century in assault cases where a woman got pregnant to argue that she must have consented because she got pregnant, therefore she must have had an orgasm, so she must have enjoyed it. Horrible, absolutely horrible. But all of that aside, the first person to ever describe a woman orgasming was a 12th century German nun.